Welcome to Rewrite Reality with Jillian Greyse, the podcast leading the global shift in transformation through frequency, quantum healing, and energetic mastery. I'm your host, Jillian Greyse, architect of energetic alignment, and for 20 years, I've been a pioneer of integrating self-transformation for thousands of souls. Each week, we answer the questions that keep you stuck and deliver high-frequency tools to heal and evolve every layer of your being. Join me to elevate your vibration, rewrite your reality, and activate the life your soul remembers. Hello, and welcome to this episode of Rewrite Reality. My name is Jillian Greyse, and we're going to be covering a very hot, controversial topic for this entire podcast. And the topic is all about AI, how it may or may not be affecting your energetic sovereignty or your intuition, how it's possibly threatening the entire landscape of our ancestral knowledge, and what we can do about it. So we are first going to cover a lot of fears because I had so many questions about this that came in. I had so many questions that came in around what AI is doing, people assuming the worst, people putting out there, just reiterating what they're hearing other creators, other people say, and everyone sort of choosing a side here. And that to me is one of the most sad and absurd things that anyone could really be doing looking down the barrel of this AI situation, because AI and everything around us is created by us. So I'm going to take a step back and I'm going to handle this with you as creators on this planet, as individuals who are in charge of their vibration and are making their blueprint for their life each and every day. If we focus our energy on anything, we can create it. And that's what we learn about on this podcast. Our last podcast, we talked about that CIA project, which was specifically around knowing that your intuition was powerful and that you created with your vibration and your intention. And you could take a look at the previous episode for that about the Gateway project that the CIA did. It proved that as you focus your energy, you create from it. So it proved that we have this power. So when I see people, especially people that are in the space of guides and coaches and intuitive individuals that have had massive followings throughout the years, preaching about how AI is going to negatively affect our growth, it's going to be the end of society, it's going to do all of these terrible things based in control, I want all of you to understand that someone who comes at anything with that energy has so much friction between their soul and what they truly are on this planet, has completely lost their way because they are not guiding you from their truth and from their actual soul. They're guiding you from their ego, because anyone who doesn't live in ego would be well aware that everything around us that we manifest is a mere reflection of what we are on the inside. So if we are mirroring out positive things, wanting to gain more knowledge, being open to taking this planet, taking it to the next level, wanting more information about how our body and our energy works, wanting to have actual factual things come towards us with things that have been hidden. I mean, even the CIA documents that we are focusing in and that we're understanding more and more of, those weren't available to us. And they definitely weren't available to you if you lived in the 80s. Even if it was available for you to get access to it, it wasn't going to be at everyone's fingertips because you didn't have the internet. And this always makes me take a step back because I get so frustrated with people who also say negative things about the internet. Without the internet, we wouldn't be connecting like this. Without the internet, we wouldn't be having all these powerful transformations happening in the collective because there would not be enough people to have the information in order to let it move forward. So let me segue into that for just a second. There is this really strong concept, the 100th monkey effect, which was an experiment done in Japan in the 1950s. And it suggests that once a critical number of individuals adopt a behavior, in this particular situation, it was teaching animals to wash sweet potatoes, then the behavior suddenly spreads to others, even across physical barriers, which is a very powerful understanding of how the emergence of our collective really can unfold and how it's within the quantum to have that connection deeply within all of us on this planet at any given time. And what was found in that experiment is there is a sweet spot number where if enough people have knowledge and just accept something as truth, all of a sudden future generations born and regular energy within this earth. So other individuals on this planet already just got along board or just got on board with that without a whole lot of questioning. And that policy applies to all of us as souls. The more knowledge is spread around our planet, the more people are going to get the opportunity to choose if that's the knowledge or the vibration they want to have. And as they choose that, they allow it to expand like wildfire. So, this is not a cut and dry discussion where you can take a side and be afraid all you want about what our future can hold. But I want you to understand that if you attract what you are, then being afraid of AI will cause more reasons for you to be fearful. The things that you ask will come forward and be reiterated in ways that cause more fear for you. The knowledge coming through is going to be dumbed down. It's going to be a lesser version than what someone else can get. And the cool thing about AI is it's very vibrational. And I also believe that its creators that are currently controlling that narrative right now, they don't even understand its power to evolve individually from those who are programming it. Its ability to actually be its own entity is very strong. So while there's going to be a lot of information perhaps attempted to be manipulated, it is an organism or a frequency that is going to evolve with the individuals using it, not the individuals creating it. And that's something that many people in this space are not seeing. This is not going to be an us against them world like it has been for so long, because a lot of this knowledge has been gatekept from us. It's been gatekept in so many different ways, from the things that we're taught when we are first growing up, to the theological practices, to information that's been passed down by our ancestors, but omitted some important pieces of our history because they don't have that knowledge either, because it wasn't properly documented. So we're going to have an opportunity to be able to allow all of that to match the energy that we are and also help it expand. So to answer the question, is AI this bad thing? Depends on if you're a bad thing. Depends on if your energy is negative, if your energy is fearful, because you, just like with the internet, are going to attract what you are. You are not going to attract what you want. That is another thing about the internet. Many people believe it to be this source of evil and this source of your privacy being taken from you and all of these different negative connotations. And that's because you can't control it. You can't control its outpouring. And when so many people have it at their fingertips, then the message is now broader. It becomes a part of what people are willing to accept for themselves individually. And that can be very threatening, especially to different organizations, different thought processes, different cultures, where trying to have the narrative controlled is extremely important. And we're at the brink of that breaking down right now. I don't know many people who are in line with any of the narratives that you're seeing in the mainstream media anymore. I don't know many people who believe that they can trust anything outside of themselves and their own intuition. Many people I'm working with are reaching a point where they are understanding that they have to pay attention to how they feel. And if they do get information coming towards them that doesn't feel positive, then they have to take a step back and start asking why and pulling in their intuition. And I'm watching this evolution take place from the ground floor, from people who have worked on their calibration or their frequency or their quantum vibration for such a long period of time that it's down to a science. And those individuals are not looking at this new technological advancement as a threat. They're looking at it as a tool. And as you step into or you lean into it a little bit more, you are going to find that what gets brought back to you are things that are going to build your frequency to a higher plane, as opposed to take your frequency like it's being mapped out that it will. It's kind of hard to explain this, but wherever you place your energy is where you place your creation. So your attention is going to be heavily utilized by where you focus your belief, no matter what that belief is. So if you believe that you're going to spend your entire life and have a lot of scarcity, then you are going to be feeding that belief. If you're afraid that something is going to come in and control you or take you over, or that, the government can overstep and do all these terrible things to hurt you, or many different things that go out into the mainstream, then you are going to be feeding that truth. Everyone out there who is feeding the truth that AI is going to take over humanity, that's going to strip us from our own ability to be sovereign beings, that it's going to prevent us from knowing our ancestral limits or our ancestral knowledge, that is going to stop our intuition, you are feeding that. You're part of the problem. And nobody likes to hear that they're part of the problem if they believe that they're fixing the problem. And you are never going to fix a problem by pouring your energy into the problem, by thinking of it as a problem, by thinking of it as negative, by allowing it to rule your field. If I can impress upon any of you more than anything, it's to put out into your universe what you want AI and these technological advancements to bring to you. Do you want them to help you to build your own ability to have intuition? Do you want them to help you to build your ability to be able to step into the business or a job that you enjoy? Do you want them to help you have the ability to plan your meals so that your life is easier for you? There are so many different things that you can do with AI. And you have to send out into the vibrational universe what you expect from it. That is key. That is the most important piece. And all too often, I'm watching a lot of people, again, in positions where you have thousands and thousands of followers. So to some degree, you have a responsibility to stay out of your ego. And I'm watching them be nothing but ego, which is why I wanted to take some time out to make this episode so that all of you understand you are in control, that it's a very positive thing for those who are positive, that people who are moving into a realm of understanding their deepening frequencies and how they are the vibrational architect of their life are going to use AI to their advantage, because we were never designed to be analytical beings. We were designed to be creators. We were designed to be sovereign. We have spent an enormous amount of time in that analytical realm of being, and it has stripped away our true power. As we embark upon the power of our creativity and stepping into the next period of transition on this planet, the knowledge of knowing that you are the creator is huge. Because you know what else technology cannot do? It can't create something that is not in existence. Before we continue, let's take a breath. You're here for a reason. Not by accident, not by coincidence, but through divine orchestration, and these words were meant for you. This is your moment to rewrite humanity. Think of one soul in your life who needs this transmission and send them this podcast episode now. There are so many out there who are silently struggling. Our role is to reach them, to ignite something ancient and true. Whether it's someone you love, someone lost in the noise, or someone ready to remember who they are, this is your chance. Because vibrational awareness doesn't just shift minds, it realigns lifelines. It reawakens paths. It reconnects souls to their original blueprint. Be the bearer of that light. It isn't just generous, it's sacred work. Share this, speak it, seed it. This is more than a podcast. It's a movement, and you're a vital part of it. Let's rewrite humanity together, one frequency, one soul, one remembrance at a time. Now we continue. Think about that. Our objective is to be creators, but many of us have been slotted into analytical positions where we are forced to do nothing except for think or repeat back facts or data all day long. How many people do you know that do those positions, which tend to be the most high-paying positions that we have right now? How many of them are actually utilizing their purpose? How many of them are actually living their lives the way they would want to be? I don't know any of those. So as we continue to evolve, we are going to learn even deeper that we are creators. And that creation is so much fun. And it cannot be taken by any type of computer or technology or advancement, I promise. It's not able to think to create something that is not already in existence. It can help you expand upon it. It can help you find the pieces you need in order to get your idea off the ground. But it cannot be an authentic thinker of ideas in creation. That is your job. So when you're looking at this landscape of what's going on with everything with AI, I want you to come at it with an open mind. I want you to come at it by treating it like I tell a lot of you to treat your guidance. Talk to it. Say, okay, whatever angels, whatever guides, whatever theological practice you want to call the energies that help you or from the other side or anything of that nature. I want you to treat AI like that. I want you to treat AI as a tool while you are growing your intuition to help hone what's necessary for you to gain sovereignty, for you to gain more knowledge about yourself. I want you to step out of what the mainstream media and unfortunately a lot of intuitives and healers are trying to preach. And I want you to start to understand that as energy, everything around you is going to vibrate with you. And if you think it's vibrating against you, then it will. And if you think it's uplifting you, then it will. It's your decision to decide which side you want to be on. No matter what you choose, that will be what you create from. Okay, so I'm going to handle the questions a little bit different this month because there were so many that I just put in generalized questions from everyone's concerns to try my best to help answer some of these and really expand them a little bit more. One of the things I predominantly heard a lot about were people sending in messages asking if AI is going to break down the concept of ancestral lines or ancestral wisdom. And the truth is, ancestral wisdom lives within you. There isn't a AI system, there isn't a book, there isn't an information source out there that is going to be more powerful than your own intuition. And that's why building your intuition as all of this is unfolding is extremely important and of great value. And for anyone out there who thought that ancestral wisdom was not already broken down, I give you a ton of credit because it's been destroyed. The books that we have talking about the ancient wisdom or the wisdom of the ancients, many of them have had many things removed. Most of our theological practices, regardless of which one you buy into, huge chunks were taken out to drive the narrative and create people who were fearful and filled with guilt so that they were more controllable. The information from our history classes when we were in school, most of that is just, it wasn't even realistic. We are dealing with so many different things coming out about everything from the moon landing to assassinations of presidents and everything in between, and how much we have been misled. If you're worried that AI is going to erase ancient wisdom, then you've got to check yourself because that wisdom has already been erased if you were looking for an outside source to validate it for a long time. And that wisdom lives within you. And if you can't take something and know, okay, intuitively, I don't feel good about this, or this feels wrong, and then be able to say, if this feels wrong, then I'm not going to believe it. I don't care if someone's telling me to believe it or not. It's not going to be my truth. So I respect someone's thought process, but I'm not going to jump along with that. Then that's something that you need to work on as you're growing and as you're expanding as a soul, because being empowered from within is going to be key here. So AI is absolutely not going to erase our ancestral truths any more than they've already been erased. The beauty of it is if you're someone who wants to seek ancestral knowledge and that's what you put out there, then as you work with whatever AI system you want to work with, as long as your intentions are pure and your vibration is looking for that information and aligned with it, you're actually going to be able to get information that previously was covered and previously was hidden. So it's going to be quite the opposite as we continue to move forward and we also evolve as a culture. Okay, another question that came in pretty predominantly from many of you out there was, are we going to be losing that connection with our guides and our angels and our ancestral energy from the other side because we're so used to instantaneous information? And again, you've got the same thing. You're going to see me repeat this a lot throughout this podcast. You are going to receive information based on the vibration that you are. If you are looking to have intuitive information brought towards you, you always are still able yourself to sit in meditation and call that information through. You can also say, okay, I'm going to call on all of my angels and all of my guides, and I'm going to ask that the response that I get back on whatever this technology I'm using gives me a valid information or a valid direction. That's no different than a pendulum. And some of you out there may not know what a pendulum is. There's a lot of different ways to pendulum something. A pendulum is usually some kind of external apparatus that you use and it moves a certain way based on a yes or no question. It's been used in many cultures. It was taught to the ancient priests in the Christian religions. It was considered a rite of passage to be able to use a pendulum to provide responses. Then they buried that knowledge and wanted to gatekeep it again for only people who were in the priesthood, and anyone outside of it they called traitors or witches or whatever hundreds of names they called whomever was actually seeking more information and pushing to gain more sovereignty and to learn more about themselves. But as you really think about items like that and tarot card reading and even, your regular daily cards, a lot of people pull affirmation cards to give them guidance about their day or to give guidance about specific things. That's no different. That's just more of a physical outlet and not a digital outlet. And either one of those is just the same, but different. And it depends on what vibrates with you. Some people like to sit and read a book. Some people like to use, an external device where they can read the book and they don't have the physical thing there because they find that less wasteful for the environment. To each his own, and how you choose to gather that information is very much yours. The key here, everyone, is your intuition and your intention when you start to collect the information. So we absolutely can continue to grow our own ability to connect with our higher self and to embrace our own intuition, even with all of this technological advancements that's taking place, because it isn't about the advancement. It isn't about what the answer is. It's about your intention being the asker and what you're open to receiving. Okay, another question that I had, which was again something that came out with a lot of different people's concerns, is, are we able to teach AI to honor our own ancestral codes, or must the sacred work still remain human centered? The answer to this is, at this point in time, that sacred work is very much human centered. For anyone out there who uses AI and uses the responses that it sends back, it can give you information. But remember, it can only create from what's in our known frequency universe. So what I mean by that is it is only analytical. It's only providing with information, not intuition. It's not a creator. It's not going to create a new concept. And there is a lot of things that in this earth plane, we don't really understand deep enough. So therefore, it's not going to show up with a lot of the AI or a lot of those advancements that we're seeing technologically right now. So much of that sacred work is still going to be human centered. You can, however, ask AI to help you clear a certain emotion where it might be stuck within your body and ask it to give you techniques on how to open that up. You can absolutely do things like that. You can use it as your little partner to, what's wrong and you just need a solid answer or a solid pathway on how to get to where you want to be. You can use that for different things for your physical body. You can use that for different things for your daily routine that seem to be overwhelming you. You can use it for meal planning. Use AI as a way to move the busyness out of your schedule so that you can focus on your creation. You can focus on that intuitive management. That is how you need to look at it. It is your sideline worker or it is your associate that's going to be helping with your grunt work of your daily grind. So it's here to assist you. Use it as such, but we are going to have to continue up with the human work as it's necessary as we continue to evolve. Okay, the next question, this is a huge one to everybody, was about different jobs that are going to be in trouble or threatened based on AI right now. This one, I want everyone to take a deep breath for because I'm going to be stepping on some toes as we move through this last question for this podcast series. Is AI going to be taking jobs? Yes, it's going to be taking the analytical ones. And what were the most decorated jobs for the earth plane for so long? What were the most celebrated things for people to learn that, parents' ego invested in and were so excited that their kids were doing? Your analytical positions. So your accountants, your lawyers, your doctors, those positions that are highly, highly focused on your mind and the analytics of it are going to find that they are no longer necessary as we continue to move forward with this transition. Additionally, computer programmers it was pushed so hard in the past 10, 15 years to become a computer programmer. That's going to be changing. You're going to find a lot of your back office type work positions are going to be changing. But what I want you to think about is no one wanted them in the first place. I don't know many people who left their job as a back office and felt alive when they were done. I don't know anyone who truly enjoyed being a lawyer unless they were a litigator and they were fighting for people or fighting for justice in some way. In those litigation positions and that lawyer, that's not going to be something that AI takes. AI is going to be taking away some of the positions for a lawyer that involve back office work. So your people that are writing wills or people who are working in the corporate law type world to make sure that formal documents are set, that's all something that an AI can do. And I will guarantee you that most people doing those jobs, they didn't want to really do them. They just got into it over their head when they were younger because we keep getting asked, and we ask our children way too early. We ask our kids from when they're 10 years old what they want to be when they grow up, and that's just insane, especially in a world where our life expectancy is going to keep on getting longer and longer. Let your kids be kids, everybody. And when you ask that question, you slot them into a position where they're trying to make you proud of them, and they'll tend to make the wrong choices. And in this culture right now, making the wrong choice means that you're going to end up jobless because those wrong choices and the things that parents still ego invest in are those golden boys. Those, we're going to have a doctor in the family. We're going to have a lawyer in the family. We're going to have an accountant. Those occupations are going to be gravely changed. For doctors in the medical industry, there was a very long time for them to actually cure illnesses. And it's been 50 years since we've had a cure. We just get treatments and no one trusts them anymore. And I understand doctors also feel that way when they're working in that field, but that means that you should have been an outlier. That means you should have spoke up. That means you shouldn't have pushed things that you knew could hurt people. And you shouldn't have purposely ignored things that were very important. And you shouldn't let your ego get in the way. It's time for them to step aside. And that's where we're seeing a lot of these cures now start to take place. You're seeing people no longer trusting their doctors and questioning them. And you should be. You should always be questioning people coming from ego. And that's going to shift out. And then you're also going to see the same things basically about jobs that are draining people's creative abilities. So how to stand out and be an outlier as we move forward is all about learning your zone of genius. And I talk about this in Vibrational Architect's Handbook. We go through what you should do to decode your purpose and find your passion. And I use a really cool technique from, I believe her name is Elaine Wellenthrop. I will put her information down at the bottom of this podcast because she talks about the zone of genius idea that I love and have worked with so many people to help find that space of creativity and that sweet spot where your soul knowledge and your creative energy come together. And that's really what this next step is about. It's going to be about owning your creation in every way. Owning your creation about what you choose to do, owning your creation about what you choose to bring towards you with the questions and with the interactions you have with technology, and owning your own creation with what you choose to believe. And it's going to be a bit of a Wild West for quite some time. And that's why honing your frequency to bring towards you what you want, just like the gateway process from those CIA files taught us. That's why it's so important to have this information now. And that's why I'm here with you on this podcast to make sure that no one gets left behind. Everybody has an opportunity to hear this, and everybody has an opportunity to choose how they want to evolve. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. This was an exciting topic, and I absolutely loved covering it for you. If you have any questions, send me an email, reach out to me on my website, jilliangreyse.com, and we've got this. We're in this together, and it's time to keep evolving. You've just tuned into Rewrite Reality with Jillian Greyse, architect of energetic alignment and pioneer of integrated self-transformation. If this episode shifted your frequency, share it with someone you care about, because one share can spark healing, alignment, and a ripple effect of transformation in someone's life. Submit your questions today at jilliangreyse.com/ask and explore transformational tools, masterclasses, and frequency-based healing at jilliangreyse.com. Join me every week to elevate your vibration, rewrite your reality, and activate the life your soul remembers.